Hey guys, my name is xOctoManx and this is part 3 of my risk territory country game tutorial series. In this part we wanna create some kind of attack panel which is actually opened once we're gonna select one of the regions we want to attack, and we'll pass over the data depending on whatever is written down in the country field, depending on whatever is the input inside of that. So also we can also go in and pass in data, or actually pass in all country handlers on all that game objects, and fill in all the data we need for this one. And of course we're gonna be able to take care of the cover color. The old color needs to be private actually, and is not so important anymore. Well, at least not to be public in this case. Okay, so we're gonna clean up some stuff and we're gonna create that attack panel. So let's start. I believe we're gonna start with the attack panel to design that kind of, and let's see where we can input all the data when we're gonna talk to the particular attack panel. So and since we are using Unity 5.6, we can make use of the new UI canvas. In this case, all of you guys should already know how this is going to work. We basically just create a new canvas. This will automatically create an event system for you. If it is not, make sure you create one, and inside the canvas gonna create a new panel. Just a usual panel. I can scroll out a bit so I can see the size and all the other stuff. In this particular case, I want to make sure that I fill the complete field so I don't have any click-throughs when I am hovering over this one. Also, I want to make sure that I give it a full color, and I want to get rid of the sprite. So for me, it's just a non-zero, nothing, just an empty image actually. Which nothing inside, no sprite, no nothing. You could even go in and use an image and make this one automatically stretch by using the anchor point in the bottom right. So it doesn't really matter how you want that. Also, I want to make sure it's not white but black, so it's looking well, maybe a bit better, I don't know. And I want to rename this one to be a attack panel. So this attack panel will just wait for our input to actually do whatever you want to do in your fights. Okay, so what I want to have in that attack panel are some values, or actually some elements, which was showing us what we are in actually. So this is going to be a text field in this particular case. I'm gonna center this one, make this one best fit, and drag this one all over here. The color I already set this one to be white, and I can pass in any text, maybe attack with some exclamation marks, or whatever you please and like. Under this one I want to create a little stripe as an image, just to make it look a bit, well, more designed maybe. So you can use any empty image in this case, and you can clamp all that data directly in here. I want to make sure once we done that, we want to go pretty quick to the canvas first and make sure that we go from UI scale mode, from constant pixel size to scale with screen size. So as you can see, it already became a bit smaller in this particular case, so I want to make sure that I increase the size once again to my needs. I'm gonna make the field looking good once again. So when I just go maximize on play and press start, the rate of the data actually should be the same size as it is as we just created. Okay, so this one will be our attack panel. So now we can put in some more data. So the first one, I'm gonna copy the text, and what I want to have in here is just a name called new text, or I just write a new text and drag this one down a bit. So, and I of course want to make sure that I increase its size to whatever my needs are. I want to make sure that it's aligned to the left, left up, and of course best fit should be on as well. So, and what I want to do is I want to rename this one to description. So in here will be some kind of text like You're gonna go attack whatever the tribe name is. Are you sure you want to? I don't know, whatever. If you want to have a bit smaller size in the text size, actually, so you might want to decrease the maximum size here to maybe 30, so you get more text inside all the lines, and it's not going to wrap around too much. Okay, so to keep a little concept, you can always go in and again design all your window as you please and like. I just go in and use some orange for this little image over here. Maybe gonna lighten this one up later on as well. So in this description text, again, it will be automatically filled by data once we're gonna go to the point. After that text, so I go and duplicate this one once again, drag this one a bit down. I want to have some fixed info with maybe the same color as we already have, and here I can also use the color picker for this one. Pick the center point color, so it's going to stay orange. So what I can tell in this point is the reward for taking over this country is, now I can under this one I can make my icons for this one and the output data. So this is not going to be a description in this case, but let's rename this one to I don't know, info text or something, so we don't get confused later on. And under that, again, I want to have two images. The first one is going to represent my money, and the second one is going to be my EXP, and I will import those pretty quick. So I already have those in my little folder in here, so I just drag them inside my sprites folder. And I of course need to go in and change this one to multiple, go into the sprite editor. As you can see, some EXP and some easy and cheap money pictures in here. Gonna slice those. So this is going to be the EXP one, this is the money one. I'm gonna apply the changes and of course close the window. When I now go and select the attack panel once again, create a new UI image, I can pass in the money and the EXP image. So maybe this one is going to be, oops, gonna have to redo it, or actually change this one directly inside of here. So this is going to be my money image, for example. So I want to make sure that I preserve the aspect ratio from the picture, and I can pass this one over wherever I like to. The Patreon who's supporting this one is also creating some kind of character images to the left, so he has a possibility to make more design directly inside. We're gonna go with this one for the moment, since I don't have any characters at the moment anyways. Okay, so I guess I will place it somewhere here. Gonna duplicate this one once again, drag this one maybe a bit over to the other side and change the picture to the EXP picture. So after this one, I want to have two text fields which are representing the data we're gonna pass over later on inside the regions, money reward and EXP reward. So for example, gonna duplicate this text and make this one greenish. Maybe you can go and take the color picker once again and maybe pick one of your colors directly in here, so you don't need to take care of the color specifically. What you can input is maybe plus 2000 or 200 or whatever. It's just for you that you can see how big the size of the money will be. Also make sure that you activate best fit, so if it's going a bit down or up or whatever, and I'm gonna also center this one maybe, you will be automatically stretched to the size we're gonna need in here. I'm gonna duplicate this once again, pass this one over here, and change the color to the EXP color, so the main color of this one at the very top. So the text will be more that yellowish. Maybe you only get 20 EXP. As you can see, once you enter this, the size will automatically fit it to whatever has to be fitted inside that window or text field. Okay, so now we have those two ones set up as well. What I want to make sure is that I rename them so I have the direct connection later on, and don't confuse myself again with the inputs directly from the attack panel. So what we're gonna have in here is the money reward text, actually, money reward text, and the other one is going to be the EXP reward text, so EXP reward text. So again, we need to drag those in just a moment into fields which we are able to populate after this one. So in the last one is I want to have another info text under this one, so I'll duplicate this one here once again, and maybe gonna make this color white once again, and can type in anything once again what I like to. So something like if you decided to attack this country, good luck, like this. And what we also want to have is some input buttons. You can decide again where you want to place them. You can create a button for closing in the top right. There's no problem with that. But you also can do two broader ones directly under this one. So gonna select the attack panel once again, create UI button. I want to make sure that I tint this one in my orange color I already have in here. And I want to make sure that the text component, which is lying directly under this one, has a white text. So it's looking, well, at least a bit better. And I activate best fit for this one. So it will be, whoops, automatically looking a bit better maybe. I'll put this one for the moment just maybe here, I don't know, somewhere in the center. And the text of that is going to be just retreat. So I can, oops, do not press enter, just type it in. So I can go back when I press that button, can go back and close the attack panel when I press that particular button. Duplicate the button once again. And this is my actual attack button. So attack. So, and of course make sure that you rename the buttons as well. So again, you don't get confused later on. So this is going to be the attack button, and this is going to be the retreat button. Retreat button. Okay, so now we need some input fields for the attack panel itself, so we can actually pass over data directly inside the attack panel. Since we will hold the connection directly in the country manager, which is able to open and close the attack panel on its needs and fill the data depending on whatever is coming in directly inside those particular fields. So what we need to do for this one is we need to create a new script which is holding the connection to the attack panel and its data. I just call it a attack panel maybe. And I drag this one directly onto my attack panel. Once it's done compiling, of course, it will be on there. If not, well then we're gonna help it out a bit. Okay, drag this in. And what we want to create in there is just, as I said before, the connections to all that stuff. So we're gonna open up the attack panel script, and we just need some placeholders for the description, the money text, the EXP text. That should be it for now. We don't need start and update since we don't need to start and update anything at that point. Behavior, and what we create is three public fields. So the first one is public. It's of type string or text. No, it's text with a big T. And if you don't have any access to the big T, we're gonna need to implement Unity Engine.ui. So as a namespace .ui, so we can actually create a connection to text fields. So it's of type text, and we just call this one description text. So, and the next one is going to be another text field as well. Public text, in this case, is going to be the money reward text. And the last one is going to be the EXP reward text, also of type text, so EXP reward text. Okay. Any typos? Maybe the big R in here. Gonna save this. And when I go back to the attack panel itself, I have the possibility to drag all the important stuff directly inside the panel script. So I just need to call the script and can have access directly to that description. So at first, drag in the description text and the description text, of course. Then the next one is the money reward text. We're gonna pass this over in here, and the XP reward text is at that particular point. Don't forget to save the scene while you are creating all that stuff in here. I just call this maybe demo. Doesn't really matter. So now we are able to activate and deactivate this one in the country manager. So what we need in the country manager, of course, is a connection to the attack panel, so we can activate and deactivate this one directly whenever we like and please. So what we can do inside the country manager, again, we scroll up just a bit and maybe over or under the objects list. Basically, it doesn't really matter. We could even hide the country list since we don't need this directly in the inspector. We can just say public, and this goes of type game object with a big G, and it's going to be our with a small a attack panel, and save. And now when the country manager has been updated, we're gonna just drag the panel, the attack panel, directly inside the slot. Like, as you can see, now it's requesting a game object. We just pass over the attack panel. Don't forget to save once again if needed. And now we can open close this at start. And we can also open close this one when we're gonna press a button, or actually one of those countries. So what I want to do is I want to disable this one for the moment. So otherwise we are not able to see our stuff in here maybe. Actually, I would see it anymore, but as you can see, when I update this one, activate this one, it would overlay whatever I am currently working on. And that's not cool, so we want to have this one disabled at this point. And since the country manager already has a connection to the attack panel, it doesn't really matter if it is active or not, even at game start. So, still, we want to take care of that one inside the country manager. So when we are starting the game, the first thing before we're gonna add country data at any point, we want to set the attack panel .setActive to be false. So we want to deactivate it, so not the player is not seeing this, no matter if it is currently active or not. It doesn't matter. But we want to make sure that we don't have any weird stuff, so this one would be automatically enabled, and the wrong data would be inside that, or actually no data or no references would happen since there is no data sent to it. Then after that, of course, we're gonna all go over and add the district data or the country data in this case. But what we want to do is we want to open access from outside, basically from the country handler to the attack panel to show the correct data. And this is where we create a new helper function. It's going to be a public one of type void, since it's not returning anything. And maybe we're gonna call this set or show attack panel. Open close parentheses. And in between those, we have three things we need to take care of. The first one is of type string, and it's going to be the description we're gonna pass over. The next one is going to be of type int, which is going to be the money reward we are after as well. We're gonna make a big R in here. And the last one is going to be as well of type int. It's going to be our EXP reward we are after. So these are the arguments we need to pass over to the attack panel once we open it and show it. So the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna set attack panel.setActive to be true, so we can see this one when we're pressing on it. The next one is we want to store the data from the attack panel directly, or actually as a local variable for the moment. So we say attack panel with a big A in this case. This is the script we just created with all the connections directly to it. What we want to make sure is we gonna I don't know, call this one GUI or ATK well, it doesn't really matter how we name this. Let's name it let's name it GUI. And what we want to do is we want to take attack panel.get component, so we get the component directly as a type of attack panel with a big A, open close parentheses, and close the line. So we actually store that locally in GUI, so we have access to this description, the money reward, and the EXP reward fields we just created in here, which are directly sitting on the attack panel anyways. Okay, so now we're gonna fill in data. So we say GUI or GUI.description text, which, as you can see, it automatically is inside because we created this on .text. Since it's a text component, we're gonna say equal to description. And this the text part in here is going to be of type string. We don't need to convert description since description is going to be of type string as well. Next one is GUI dot the money reward text dot text. It's going to be equal to, and now we're gonna take the money reward and we need to convert this one to a string, so we type in dot to string, open close parentheses, and close the line. And the same for the EXP reward, so we say GUI or GUI dot XP reward text dot text. It's going to be equal to EXP reward dot to string, so we need to convert this once again since it's of type integer when it's coming inside of here, and that's it. So when we're pressing now on something, or we would press on something, we would call at first this show attack panel, and we pass in data, and the attack panel would go open up, make a local variable which holds all the data, and then we update it depending on what we are passing all over in here. Okay, so another function we gonna, what we like to have is we want to disable the panel at the same point. So, or actually, when we are pressing on the retreat button, so we say it's of type void once again, since it's again not returning anything. We're gonna say disable the attack panel, open close parentheses, and inside we just say the same as we did at start, attack panel dot set active, now with a small a, attack panel dot set active, open close parentheses, inside we're gonna type in false. Don't forget to save often, and of course we want to load the attack screen or a specific scene when we are hitting or pressing on the attack button. But I believe we're gonna do that a bit later on, since we need to take care of other stuff at first. Okay, so what we now want to do is when we are pressing on one of those fields or countries, we want to call this function. So we need to go back to the country handler and update or actually create a function or two which are steering or controlling all the data we want to have inside, and update the UI depending on this. Same will later on happen when we're gonna create the game manager, which is taking the data from and to the fighting scene and coming back with the updated stuff as well. Okay, so the first one we gonna need is a click function. So what we're gonna have currently is the on mouse enter and on mouse exit functions, but they don't take any mouse inputs or touch inputs if you are going for Android or whatever, or iOS. So in this case we're gonna create a new type, Unity type function. It's going to be called on mouse up as button, open close parentheses. Make sure you type this correctly, otherwise it's not working, because this is a Unity provided function. So make a big O, big M, big U, big A, and big B. And what we want to do is we can actually print a message to see if we have clicked this one. So we just say print, and inside we're gonna say pressed. I just want to show you that what we need to make this press actually happen. When I now press play and I hit my little upper left country, we should get a something in the console. Gonna pause. What you can see now, it registered a press directly on the field I was over. And that's cool. So what we can now do is when we press on that, we can read the complete data while pressing on this and put the data into the show attack panel function. Since the country manager, as you may remember, is a static game object or a static class in this case, which we can pass over data at any time as we want. So we can do all of that stuff now directly inside the on-click stuff, or we can create, to keep it clean at least, can create a new function for this one. This of course is again of type void. I just call this one maybe show GUI. So GUI, open close parentheses, and in here we're gonna open close curly brackets or call curly brackets as well. So the first one is we want to get the connection to the set attack panel, or to the, let's scroll down once again, to the show attack panel function at first and pass in the data. So what we're gonna take or tell is country manager, which is a manager we have the current function in, dot instance. So we're gonna grab the instance dot set, no, it's going to be called show attack panel. And as you can see, as it arguments, it takes the 3 arguments we just decided to implement as further. So at first it needs to get a string as a description. So we're gonna have to make it as a string. And what we can type in here is any text we like. So let's assume we say this country is owned by the, and now we can after that we can implement also any other converted string, like from the enum we currently have in the country class, or in the country public field set by hand. So plus, and now we're gonna take country dot, in this case the tribe dot to string. So we convert this enum to a string, so it can be implemented inside the text as well. Also, to get a gap in between the value we're gonna get from the enum, we want to have a space in between, so before the last quote in this case. Now we can add more text, plus now we can continue with another string. For example, we can hit a point at this point and type in, are you sure you want to attack them? Maybe with a little typos. I was sure you want to attack them. Okay, so this is the string, the first string we're gonna send to that. The next argument is going to be our money reward, and this of course is also stored directly in country. In this case, country dot money reward, and the last one is comma country. Now you can pass over the EXP reward. Again, those are of type integer. As you can see when you hover over with a mouse, you can also go into an open country. As you can see, those two are of type integer. And now we call the complete function, and it will update the text according to whatever we have passed in here. Don't forget to make a semicolon in the end. Okay, so now let's test if this is going to work. The first thing is we want to make sure that the attack panel's retreat button is working as well. That means select the retreat button, go to the on-click event and press the plus button. We could also make this one automatically filled by the manager actually when we're pressing on that, so we would get or pass over an add listener function to this one, which will pass over the data directly inside the retreat button. But actually, since the country manager and the attack panel won't change at any point, we can just drag in the country manager directly in the on-click event, go down to the function list until you find country manager and go to disable attack panel. So what we now can do is, or should do, when we are selecting our field in the top left, the window should show up. But it is not, because we haven't implemented the on-click to show the GUI. So we're gonna copy the function name, go to our on mouse up as button function and pass show GUI inside. And also we can comment out print, since print is going to work at this particular point. Let's try again. Press play, and once the compiler is done, we should be able to click this one, and as you can see, it automatically fills in a 0 in here, a 0 in here, and of course the text, this country is owned by the player, which we are at the moment. Are you sure you want to attack them? And of course we don't want to, and we want to test if our retreat button is working, so click on retreat. As you can see, the panel is going to show off, or is going to be disabled when we click this. This is pretty cool and working already. So, but we want to make sure that only if we are not a player, well, because we already have this one, only then we want to show the GUI. So we're gonna implement a little if statement in here. So if the country's territory or the country tribe, so if country tribe is not going to be country.player, and only then, so we want to show the GUI, since we don't want to fight ourselves. Also, as you have seen, it's filled by zeros, and I want to implement a bit more to show the attack panel at this point. So we're gonna implement a bit more in here inside the money reward. I want to, which is in the country handler in the show attack panel, I want to implement a plus in the very beginning as well. For the money reward and the EXP reward. So what I do is I just type 2 quotes, a plus inside, maybe a space after this one, and after the second quote we're gonna add a plus. So same here, gonna do a quotes, a plus, 3 space, and a normal plus in between those. What will happen is when we now press play and press on that one, well, actually, we shouldn't be able to, as you can see, because we are not. We are actually owning this one. Since we are player, so I go pretty quick to the region and change the region from player to maybe gangster, and also I add some money reward, maybe 2k or 200 or whatever you like, and maybe some EXP like 20. And when I press play now, don't forget to, remember that you can see it automatically become tinted blue when I click on this. This country is owned by the gangsters. I sure want to attack them. The reward is this one, plus 2k and plus 20 EXP. But what you can see, well, actually I don't like the space in between the plus and the numbers. So I can retreat and can do everything else or anything else what I like at this moment. But what I also want to get rid of is a little space in between, so it's directly one after another. And if I need more space to the left, I of course can go in and make a space in here, but I believe we don't need to. Don't forget to save the changes, and that's rather cool. What we now can do is, with all of that stuff, we could basically go in and set up every country to whatever we want. I already renamed all the regions in here, so maybe we want to make all the upper regions, I want to make them by the gangsters, so I just select all of those and pass over the country handler. I get 3 times the null reference we were talking about earlier. We might want to go and give some money rewards to all of them at the same time. You can also go in and change them to whatever you like later on. The hover color, well, we're gonna take care of this one, I believe, now, as well as the old color in this case. So what we want to do at first is the old color needs to be a private one, since we don't want to have access to it and don't want to see it. We could keep it actually public and just hide it in the inspector. But we would do the same as well for the hover color. What I want to try now is to set the hover color by the current color plus something. Since we cannot just add those colors together, we're gonna create it a bit different. So what we say is hover color is going to be equal to new color 32, and what we pick is the RGBA values from the old color. We just actually pasted all over in here, or we could directly take the color from the sprite, but we just change by hand the alpha value to whatever alpha value we want. So what we say is old color.r, old color.g, old color.b, so the RGB values which we already have in the old color stored. And then we can pass over any new data, maybe a value of 180 or whatever you please like, or 190 maybe, I don't know. Don't forget to save, and let's get back to Unity and see if the compiler is still messing up in here. Gonna wait until he's done, and once this is away, we should be good to go. Okay, so now we got rid of all that weird data. Actually, as you can see, those first tribes in here are actually selectable. When I go over, I just change the alpha to a bit more, or actually a bit less transparent actually. So we're gonna have some kind of highlighting for those 5 or 4 fields in this case. I will go in and change the other parts in here as well, so we can see that we have a complete functional possibility actually for this. So I'm gonna take all my Middleton West in here, and I believe I give this, well, I need to pass over the country handler in here as well. Again, get rid of the null reference, set everything to maybe the bats. In this case, gonna pass in any money reward, maybe 700, and some EXP reward of maybe 10. Gonna take the ones to the right, which is for me Middleton East 1 and 2. Gonna pass over another country handler as well. Those are going to be maybe from the hunters. Gonna give them any number in a reward as well. And of course I have another one for the downtown, so the 3 downtown pieces in here. Gonna pass over country handler once again and make this one for, I believe it was the hunters now. Okay, so so I'm gonna pass over the north to this guys in here. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of all the null references, and when I press play now, I should have a full field, well, tinted already to whatever we set those, except the center one. Maybe I give that to the north as well, I believe. Yeah, the center one, I just forgot this. I'm gonna give that country handler and make this one north as well. I could also give this one to player if I would like to, but doesn't really matter. So let's start the game and see if everything works. So we have the alpha change in here. We're gonna have the alpha change in here as well. Same for those 3 parts and for the green ones as well. So what we can do is we click to any part now. So maybe this one. And we're gonna attack the bats now, and we would get this in return, the 700 points and the 10 EXP in this particular case. We could also go for this one. It has no reward for us because we haven't set this one. As you can see, anytime I click, I can see this is the gangsters now with that reward. These are the Nords, these are the hunters, and these are the bats. And it's reading all the data depending on what we have set it to. So as we have seen, we didn't set any money reward for the lower parts in here, so maybe we're gonna get more XP but less money in this case. Once again, can check this one out if you like to. So we can click this one, and now they have 550. That what I just actually implemented for those. Again, For the player, of course, this is going to become transparent. There will maybe still be some kind of overlay, maybe in black or white, depending on what color we set the players actually to this. And in this case, it's going to be fully white with a 180 as an overlay, or 190 in alpha. So we could also go get rid of that one when we are checking for the player stripe. So we could also get rid of the hover over actually. So when there is no hover over possible, because we're not able to select anything, we don't need to get and hover over this one and change the value from the old color to the hover color. So at least it could just stay to be the old color and nothing else would change. I believe that is what we're gonna implement pretty quick as well. So it's just an easy if statement for the country tribe. So if country tribe tribe is going to equal to player, we're gonna open close the curly brackets in here. We're gonna set the hover color to be the old color, so we don't have any change there, and else, so if that's not the case, we're gonna change the hover color to whatever the hover color is with the highlighted alpha in this particular case. Don't forget to save. And we can already test this one, maybe with the centerpiece in here. Gonna set this one to the player, if it lets me after compiling. There we go. Set this one to player, give it also a value of maybe 2000 and I don't know 40. Press play. When I would go over with a mouse in this particular field, the hover color wouldn't change. As you can see, it is not reacting to the center field now, because this is of type player. We are also not able to click on this one, so we can actually take over any place or any part when we are playing the game. So, and that's it for this part. In the next part, we will go over and load and save the data and make sure that we have some kind of fighting scene, which is actually dicing a 0 or a 1 for us. So we're gonna be able to get all that parts or not. And then basically that's everything about that whole tutorial series. Thanks for watching the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thumb this video up if you like it, and feel free to become my patron or donate by using PayPal to support me and my channel in the future. All links will be below in the description. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.